Okay, so quiz preview for quiz 4, 9-1 and 9-2. There's only two operations of the 4, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing when you need common denominators. It's only when you add or subtract. All right, and then when trying to simplify any rational expression that involves a quadratic polynomials, what should be your first step? And they don't actually have to be quadratic. They could be just, what's the first step, period? Factor. Yes, you want to factor. Factor everything you can. You don't want to forget that you want to remember to factor monomial factors too. Like if you had 4n plus 12, you want to go ahead and factor out a 4. That's factoring out a constant or undistributing. I just made something up. You didn't need to write that. What are the least common denominators for the following rational expressions? Well, the LCD for this one, there's one fraction and another fraction. Their denominators are entirely different. Do not consider that x is counting for each one. So the LCD would be x plus 4 times x minus 5. For the second one, it would be 4x. And for the third one, you would factor x plus 6x minus 16 to x plus 8 times x minus 2. And that would be the LCD, x plus 8 times x minus 2. Okay? Any questions about number 3? All right, number 4. If possible, simplify the rational expression. I will factor the denominator. I will factor out an x, which will give me x times 3x plus 2. Then I can cancel an x in the numerator and denominator, which will just change that x to the second to x to the first. So it's just 7x over 3x plus 2. I take it you have early out. Okay, bye-bye. The second one, I'm going to factor the numerator, 2x plus 7 times 2x minus 7. And I'm going to factor the denominator, 2x, x, and I got 2x plus 7, no, minus 7, and I'd need a minus 1. The numerator and denominator have a married couple that are matching, so you can cancel out the entire thing. You cannot cancel the x's in this rational expression. This is the answer. Okay, do not start crossing more stuff out. Number 6. What's the LCD? Well, you need 5x. Since 5 is a factor of 20, and x is a factor of x to the 4th, then, oh, this doesn't say to add. This says to multiply. So do you need an LCD? No. You start to look at what can cancel across from one another. 16 and 20 have a common factor of 4. So I'll divide 16 by 4 and 20 by 4. And looks like that's about it. I can do some stuff with the y's and x's, but sometimes I think that you get a little confused if I start crossing things out this way. Or would you like to go ahead and get rid of the y? Should I do it now? All right. Y to the first, you take away a 1 from the y to the 5th. That'll be y to the 4th. Okay, so I've got 4 times 12, which would be 48, y to the 4th on top. And on the bottom, I've got 25, x to the 1st times x to the 4th would be x to the 5th. Nothing else I can do with that. Excuse me. Number 7, I'm going to factor and I'm going to flip. I'm going to change the division to multiply by the reciprocal of the second fraction. So x squared minus 36, the difference of squares, factors to x plus 6 times x minus 6. Change divide to multiply and flip over the second fraction. There was nothing to factor in the second fraction. Now I look for common factors. The x plus 6 are married, but this is a couple that matches that couple, so you can cancel them out. Okay. Then I can cancel an x to the 4th into the x to the 6th would be x to the 2nd. And it looks like I'm done there. So I've got x to the 2nd on top and 4 times x minus 6 on the bottom. In case that was unclear, this was x minus 6. And you don't have to redistribute the 4. I'll take it factored. Number 8, rewrite the first fraction. It's a division problem. Change divide to multiply by the reciprocal. I flip over the second fraction. Then I start looking for any cross cancellation. 7 goes into 7 once and into 28 4 times. 8 and 12 have a common factor of 4, or you can go vertically. It's up to you. I think it'd be easier to go vertically. So 4 goes into 12 3 times. So now I've got, I think I'll wait a second if that's okay. I have 1 times x to the 4th times 3, so that's 3x to the 4th over 8x to the 5th, and then I bet some of you already did do the canceling of the x's. You have more x's on the bottom, and if you think about it, expand it out. Subtract 4 from 5, and we'll have 8x to the 1st on the bottom. 3 over 8x. Numbers that's 8. Okay, number 9. Oh, that looks crazy. I know you look at it and go, what am I going to do with this? How do I take care of that thing? Well, put it over 1. You don't have to, but that might help you see things better. Change the divide to multiply by the reciprocal. So I'm going to flip over that second fraction. So x plus 3 will be on the third fraction, or however you want to say it. X plus 3 will be on top, and then I'm going to factor this difference of squares to 2x plus 5 times 2x minus 5. And now I'm going to start looking across. I've got an x plus 3 in the denominator and the numerator of the last fraction, so I'm going to cancel that out. 2x minus 5 goes out with 2x minus 5. These are all, anything I'm crossing out, guys, is actually being replaced with a 1, because you're dividing by that itself. But I just stop. I usually forget to write all those 1s sometimes because I just do it. X times 1 times 1 would be x. And on the denominator, 1 times 1 times 2x plus 5 times 1. 2x plus 5. Do not cancel out the 5s. The x's. I got distracted and I said the wrong thing. Do not try to cross this out. You can't do that. These guys are married in the denominator. Add or subtract expressions. Okay, this is where we have more trouble. Don't forget that you need common denominators. So, I think of 7 as being over 1. I multiply, I say, well, what's the LCD? The LCD is the product of those two denominators. So it's going to be y times 1, or just y. So you'll multiply the second thing by y over y. That will give you x plus 7 times y over y. If you don't understand, I'll rewrite one more step here. That was x over y plus 7y over y, and that is the result. Add the numerators. The second two fractions, the LCD, is going to be 3 times y. So I'll multiply the first fraction by y over y, and the second one by 3, top and bottom. That'll give me xy, maybe I'll write this out, over 3y, minus 27 over 3y. Now that the fractions have the same denominator, we will combine the numerators. So it would be xy minus 27 all over 3 times y. And I know someone will start crossing things out after they write that. Do not. You can't. Yes? Say that again. And then plus xy? If you don't have something between them, it would be wrong. Do you understand what I'm saying? You don't have them connected except by multiplication, and they shouldn't be multiplied. Okay? Number 12, the LCD is going to be x plus 3 times x minus 2. I will need to multiply the first fraction by x minus 2, top and bottom. The second one I will be multiplying by x plus 3, top and bottom. If you'd like, I will show the long way. I'll do 4 times the x minus 2 plus 2 times the x plus 3. Now, is it okay with you guys if I just write one denominator and not write the two separate fractions? Or do you want me to show that right now? So, okay, I'm going to do it this one time, and then I think on the next one I won't. But what I'm trying to point out is this is the denominator of the first fraction, and it doesn't matter what order you write that. This is the denominator of the second fraction. They are the same denominators. Now that they are the same denominators, what you're doing is combining the numerators. So I'm going to distribute and write it all over one denominator. Okay, and then I need to simplify my numerator. 6x minus 2 all over x minus 2 times x plus 3. Now, you can factor out a 2 from the numerator, but that's not going to simplify it to anything that would cancel. So I'm best off just leave it alone. Be done. Okay, does anybody still need this? All right, 13. Right? That was 11, 12. Okay, 13. The LCD would be 10x. Because 5 divides evenly into 10, that is your LCD. So you'll need to multiply the first fraction by 2x to get it to be 10x. This one you won't multiply by anything. So that's going to be 6x squared, then add the numerators, plus 4, all over 10x. You can simplify this further. You can divide every number there by 2. So you can reduce it to 3x squared plus 2 over 5x. Now, how did I get that? Well, I just told you. I said every one of the numbers is divisible by 2. Or I could have shown this step. If I can find my pen. There we go. That would be 2 times 3x squared plus 2 over 10x. And then you can do the, since it's a product in the numerator and the denominator, you can divide by 2. Okay? This is the final answer. And no, you cannot cancel out an x because these are married. Okay? Did you have a question? Okay. All right, number 14, rewrite the first fraction with a denominator factored, x minus 7 times x minus 2. And then we'll need to multiply the second fraction by what's missing in its denominator that the first fraction has, which is x minus 7. Okay, so I'm going to write my new numerators, putting them together. I've got 5x minus 1, plus I have 2 times x minus 7, which is 2x minus 14, all over x minus 7 times x minus 2. Again, order doesn't matter about those two on the bottom. Simplify, we get 7x minus 15 over x minus 7 times x minus 2. You cannot do anything else. All right, everything okay? The next one, the denominators are alike, so you combine the numerators, and you write one denominator. You then factor the numerator, and then you can cancel out an x minus 6, and that would be 6. Okay? Someone was having a nap. All right, to the next one. I'm going to factor it under here. X plus 3 times x plus 4. All right, and I'll need to multiply the first one by what's missing its denominator that's in the second denominator, which is x plus 4. Okay, so I'll have 8 times x plus 4 minus parentheses x squared minus 6. Now, I wrote that in parentheses because I'm subtracting it. Okay, and then next I will simplify. Okay, so I'm going to distribute, and here I'm going to distribute the minus sign. So I've got 8x plus 32 minus x squared plus 6. And I still don't lose your denominator, because if it's not written on your answer, it will be a big problem. Combine any terms. I'm going to rewrite this in descending order. Negative x squared plus 8x plus 38. Are we good? And then this does not factor. The numerator does not factor, so we're done. Okay? Boom. Now, we're going to review logs. It's on the quiz. Yes, you have to still remember logarithms. Thus, the logarithm puzzles. Okay, what do you do to solve this problem? Now, second hour, I had a student raise their hand and offer to tell me how to solve this, and was told that there's a button on his calculator. That will not work. But he did know how to say what to do. So that was good, because he knew to change a base formula. However, I didn't expect anybody to do it that way, so I'm just curious. Anybody thinking about something on their calculator right now? Or what do you think yes? So you're telling me to take the logarithm of both sides. But that's not what that other student had said, so that's exactly what I do want to hear. Take the log of both sides. All right. And then you're already doing the step with the power rule by bringing the exponent out front. So the first time here, I'm just going to rewrite it. So this is actually what you're doing. And then you're going to put the t plus 8, bring it out front using the power rule. And technically, it should be in parentheses. And I really hate writing the 0.3, but I'll do it. And then you would divide by log of 0.3. So this is what you're going to do on your calculator. You're going to divide a log 11.3 divided by log of 0.3. Do you mind if I just get tired of writing that 0? Okay, and then what will you need to do after that? Yeah, subtract 8. So here's what you can type all at once. The log of 11.3. If you're going to type it all at once, do not forget to close that parenthesis. And then divide by the log of 0.3. Close the parenthesis, and then hit subtract 8. Okay? So it would look like this. Log 11.3. Close it. Divided by log of 0.3 or 0.3, however you choose to type it, close, and then minus 8. So we should be getting negative 10.0140. Yes, It's a button I did not discuss with you. And you don't show your work then. And then the teacher will give you points off. So, because I expect you to know how to solve it and that you're taking the log of both sides. Yeah. Okay, so forget about buttons. Yes, yeah. Okay, we answered that question, and then now, I think, and then we have this one, we're going to divide by 5 first. You have to divide by 5. So e to the 2x is equal to 30. And now, what? Take the natural log of both sides. Now I'm going to get my log out of the way. All right, put 2x in the front. What's the natural log of e? 1. Then you can just do x equals the natural log of 30 divided by 2. And that would be a calculator button pushing. Natural log of 30. Enter, then I always hit enter, then divided by 2. All right, 1.7006. Why don't I remember that answer? Yes, that's right. 1.7006. All right, and a couple other review blasts from the past that I'm sure you're really excited about seeing. The I simplification, well, it's almost like an X at this when you're doing this kind. Distribute the minus sign, combine, oops, I can't see which one has an I on it with my eyes. 5i and you needed 9 minus 1 first because it's supposed to be an a plus bi form. 8 plus 7i, and the vertex would be 5, negative 1. Remember, the axis of symmetry would be x equals 5. Y equals a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. And the axis is x equals h. Remember that? Sorry, I made that so sloppy. And that is an h. And it got messy. See what happens? You guys do that to me. Some of you when you write, I'm supposed to interpret it. All right. And solve the quadratic. Factor it if you can. And this does factor to x minus 10 times x plus 5. And so the solutions are 10 and negative 5. And this one, what? Graphing calculator? Oh, I'd like to see you factor it. You can do it, but this is faster. All right, rewrite in base 5. 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. Okay, then once the bases match, you can drop the bases and set the exponents equal. And that would be x equals 6x minus 15. Negative 5x equals negative 15. Divide by negative 5, we will get 3. Somebody do a log? You can do it by logarithms, but you still should get 3. Oh dear. Did you do this? This is a pain in the booty. Because then you'd have to do x over 2x minus 5 equals, then it'd be icky. I don't like doing it like this. That's a number and blah, blah, blah. It's messy. No. If you type it on the calculator, it's 3 and then you would, okay. Excuse me. Okay, we are finished with the review though, right? That's the last one on the quiz preview. Now, what I was wondering would be, do you have any other questions that you'd like to address? And I don't know where my little button is.